Part 2 LR is another mystery for this celebration. As always, we're going to predict who we think the Part 2 LR is. We're going to start off with my first prediction, which is a Final Flash Vegeta, or maybe a tag Super Vegeta and Super Trunks. It would be very fitting to end the year with another tag unit. In fact, the last tag unit we got was Golden Frieza and Gogeta, which still feels somewhat recent, but we went through the entire baby celebration, no tag unit. We went through the entire Daima celebration, no tag unit. It would make sense to potentially end this year with one more tag unit just for the road, just to have, you know, one more unit just for it. Maybe they're going to say the tag mechanic for the anniversary as well, just for another unit to have it. But I think it makes sense for multiple reasons. One, the last Final Flash / Super Vegeta we've gotten was in, what, 2021, I want to say? That sounds about right. And the Final Flash was not voiced. It was a super attack animation. So for me, it would make sense to see a active skill Final Flash for Vegeta, or potentially a tag Super Vegeta and Super Trunks for their turns when they fought against Perfect Cell. You'd still be able to fit in the Final Flash, but you would also get to include some stuff for Super Trunks as well to make up for the atrocity that is the tech Super Trunks. But if I was going to choose between the two, I would probably just say a standalone Vegeta. I just think because they did the Tech Trunks already in 2023, which did cover a majority of the ground for Super Trunks and his significant, you know, screen time per se. So in my opinion, I would say Super Vegeta is probably my shoe-in for this position between those two. But let's talk about a few more here shortly. The next one is Bye Guys or Heart Virus Goku. Heart Virus is interesting because the only version of Heart Virus Goku we have is the Banner unit that came out with the AGL Future Trunks, who is EZAing this celebration, by the way. Maybe we see a sub-EZA for that Goku, but yeah, I mean, I think Heart Virus Goku would be interesting. I'm really only including him for coverage. I don't know if you really bring him as a LR. Like, is Heart Virus Goku a LR moment? Probably not, especially because you have to remember that this is a Carnival LR, at least from, you know, from previous years. I know they did some flipping around with the Carnival LRs, but we got a Yellow Coin LR in November. So to me, I still fully expect a Carnival LR for this spot. Thus, Bye Guys Goku or Heart Virus Goku could make sense here. I really do think it's a super class unit that we're going to see as a part 2, but I will explore some extreme class options later in the video. But I think a lot of people would really enjoy a Bye Guys Goku. Now, the issue is this Bye Guys Goku is a little weird because Bye Guys is a moment, right? Bye Guys is him telling them, okay, bye-bye, and then he leaves, right? Bye Guys kind of only makes sense in the essence of a Gohan card, right? Like, it starts as Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, or like, actually even better, it starts as a Goku, you tag into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, then like after certain turns you can flip back to the Goku, you can stand by with the Goku, and then you, or like maybe it's a Goku that standbys and then goes into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I don't know. I really don't know how it would work, but it would make more sense in my opinion that it's a Gohan, it's a Goku and Gohan card with a standby or something like that. And then Goku leaves, and then Gohan's still there, and you get a stat boost for the Gohan or something like that. Like, to me, that would make more sense than just Bye Guys Goku by itself, because in reality, it's actually going to be an instant transmission LR Goku with a Bye Guys C, right? Like, that's probably what it would be. Thus, I don't really know if Super Saiyan Goku is going to be the spot, which is a relief for many, because we do not need more Super Saiyan Gokus, but you know, it would be interesting to see what they plan on doing with this spot, which is what we're going to explore next. This is my personal favorite selection for this spot. That is the Tank Top Trunks. This guy doesn't have an LR in this game at all that's summonable. There's no really summonable moment for this Tank Top Trunks at all. In fact, it could start as a Jacket Trunks or a Armor Trunks. Actually, probably Armor Trunks, right? He goes to the future, and then he has a tank top moment, and then he has the armor moment. I don't know. Incorporate the Heat Dome, incorporate the moments where he kills the androids, right? You want both of those. So you go from, of course, the tank top into the armor modes, and then you have those as like a costume exchange. I think that would be really fun to see with this Trunks. There's a lot of factors you can play with him here with. And it would just make sense for the easy A's, because again, we have the jacket Trunks getting his easy A for this celebration. You could then easy A the future Gohan and Trunks, and you could super easy A the Sword of Hope Trunks. And I think that'd be a great way to end the celebration. And you also get super easy A the androids, just so that you get that done as well. But this is my personal favorite pick for this spot. It would make sense. It does feel like a carnival worthy unit, especially with all the mechanics you can bring in for him. That would allow him to be a really fun unit. And again, give us proper representation for this unit. Next is a little more wild. We're going to actually go outside of the Android / Cell saga. And it's actually going to be something that relates to Garlic Jr. with LR tag Goku and Piccolo. Now here is my reasoning for that. Garlic Jr. just got the Battlefield LR, and you can be like, well, that's not really a good leverage point. We got Analaza last year as a Battlefield LR for the spot, but we got Go Tanks as the Part 2 LR. Well, sure. But back in 2022, we had the Yamcha celebration for this Christmas spot. And we actually got Hachiak as the Prime Battle LR. We got Easy Ace for Bojack. It was a really weird celebration. But the Part 2 unit was the five guys, the units that fought Hachiak. Not anything to pertain to Yamcha, it actually pertained to the Battlefield LR. 2023 was Android 21. I have no clue who the Prime Battle LR was then. Then it was the Super Saiyan Trio, which kind of associates with 21, kind of, not really. So that's what I'm saying. There's definitely a mix and match of androids, Android / Cell Saga, or stuff that pertains to Garlic Jr. that we could see for this Part 2 LR spot. Goku and Piccolo would make sense based on the easy A's we have remaining, and then of course it pertains to LR tag Goku and Piccolo. Oh, a storm just rolled in, fantastic. So again, that'd be cool to see. Again, one final tag unit for the road, and then at the same time you get tag Goku and Piccolo, which is a really cool concept for a unit, especially for one that fought Garlic Jr. The animations last time for the LR into Goku and Piccolo were really cool, but again, I think they'd be a cool unit. Kind of left field. I don't know how hyped people would be for this unit in comparison to Tank Top Trunks, Spy Guys Goku, or Final Flash Vegeta. I definitely think those three are way more hyped, but I definitely could see tag Goku and Piccolo for this spot. All right, the next one I have is Cell. Whether first form or second form, it's definitely not perfect or super perfect, but Cell is what I think we could see in the spot as well. One, because first form Cell did fight Android 16. Just pertaining to the androids, it would be a nice buff for the android category. It would be a much better animation improvement compared to the Cell we got, there's the Prime Battle LR Cell a while back. For that specific moment, it'd be cool, it would work. A second form Cell would be cool too, especially because second form Cell does not get much representation as well. But I don't know, to me, I don't really see Cell in this spot. I'm just including him to cover my bases, to be honest. I just don't see Cell here. We got SCR Cell earlier this year. We got the EZA for the AGL Cell. Kind of the same reason why I'm not feeling Super Saiyan Goku. We got the Super Saiyan Goku EZA earlier this year. We have plenty of Super Saiyan 2 Gohans. I would be kind of surprised if we saw a Cell here. I'd be cool, I just would be surprised. Now, is Cell a carnival worthy unit? Specifically 1 and 2, like first and second form. Maybe first form, maybe second form, definitely not. I don't think second form is carnival worthy at all. I think first could work. Maybe first goes into second, you know, something of that sort. I don't buy it, honestly. I'm not really vibing with Cell as the LR here. It'd be fine, it would work. I don't know, it'd just be kind of weird to release 2 Cells in the same year, in my opinion. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen or doesn't work. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right for the celebration. It kind of feels like an oddball here. I know it pertains to everything. I know he's an android. I understand all of that. I don't think it would be Cell. I could be wrong. I'm keeping it here. I just gotta list him as a potential possibility because 16 did fight him, and yeah, but I just don't know if that's enough to be considered a carnival LR. This feels like a Yellow Point LR, that first form Cell that fought 16 and all of them on the island. Like, that would make sense to me, but I think this is probably something closer to one of the Super Saiyans or Goku and Piccolo that fought Garlic Jr. I think those all make sense as carnival LRs for this spot. Finally, I think this is my second favorite option for this spot, and this is also my least likely person for this spot. and it's Super Android 13. My gosh, a Carnival Super Android 13 would be so peak in this spot. And it would kind of be funny because 2 years ago we had an Android release, and the Part 2 Carnival was something related to the Android 13 movie. So Android 13 LR, Super Android 13, or an Android 13 that goes into Super Android 13. Actually, I kind of just want Super Android 13, not even transformation, just base Super Android 13 would be peak. I understand Super Android 13 is being a little weird here because if you're looking at EZAs, it would actually make more sense to see an EZA for him next year for this spot. And actually, I got one more oddball option after this, so we'll go ahead and talk about it after this one. But Super Android 13 to me would make a lot of sense. He's on Androids, of course. So just by that standard alone, he already helps out Android 16, but he's also a movie boss, which helps out Garlic Jr. So in a weird way, it works. And of course, he's on the 220% for 16 because he's artificial life form as well. To me, it would make sense, right? Like I think it works. I think it would be really cool to see because I think that we need representation for him. And this game loved, and I mean loves, representation for movie bosses. So I think it'd be cool to get a voiced super SS Deadly Bomber active skill, like a notification where he does the nut punch. Like that would be really cool. Super Android 13 would be an amazing release towards the end of this year. I don't know how likely it is, but in my opinion, it would be really cool. And I know I said the last one was the final one, but as I was talking about Super Android 13, one just came across my mind that I think a lot of people I don't think they would love. But I do think it would work based on the EZAs, and that is LR Tag Gammas. I know it is insane to even think about getting another Gamma card after just getting the Int Gammas last year, beginning of last year. But if this year has shown us anything, they don't care. We got Omega Shenron, Vegeta Blue, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and Rose. Rose had a card literally last year. Vegeta Blue had a card at the end of 2023. And then, of course, Omega Shenron also had a card at the end of 2023. Insane that we got all of those in a big celebration barely 2 years after most of those releases. So Tag Gamma's getting a card almost 2 years after their release. Does it seem super far-fetched? Now, it still will be repetitive, but based on the EZAs of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, can we really rule out Tag Gammas being an option? The answer is no. I think it would make sense for the sake of the EZAs. It would also make sense because they're on a 220% lead. It doesn't help Garlic Jr. in any sense of, once again, the Part 2 LR doesn't necessarily have to correlate or help Battlefield LR. I just use that as strengthening points for Tag Goku and Piccolo and Super Android 13. But in all, as long as there's some association between the Part 1 and Part 2 LR or the Battlefield LR and the Part 2 LR, they're pretty much free to go, right? I mean, even Android 21 and the Super Saiyan Trio is a little loose, but just based on the fact that they killed an android with those three, it is like, okay, I kind of see it, I guess. I mean, it's pretty loose here. It's as long as there is some narrow connective tissue between the two, it works for the Christmas Carnival. So I think Tag Gammas have to be on the table here, with Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 still gearing up for their EZAs. Which would probably mean we're going to see a future celebration down the road if it is Gammas or Super Android 13, because I don't think we see future Gohan and Trunks EZA or the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta or the Tech Merge Zamasu EZAs. We'll see those down the road sometime in the future. I don't know when. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with that, because once again, it's like that's a lot of future stuff still left on the table that we have not conquered yet, and probably something we might see during the 11th anniversary, maybe a Fusion Zamasu, maybe Vegeta Blue. I don't even know, man. It's crazy in this economy for this game. So anyways, that is my predictions here. I know it's a lot of coverage, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got it right. Look, I got like 10 options on this list. I'm not going to take myself credit. I'm just giving you guys things we could look out for. And to be honest, there's probably an 8th option that this LR actually is. But if my top picks are probably a Super Vegeta Tank Top Trunks, those are my 2 top picks. The one I want the most is either Tank Top Trunks or Super Android 13. I don't mind Tag Gammas. I think that'd probably be my 3rd option on both ends, most likely, and also what I want to see based on EZAs, Android correlation, all of that. But Again, tag Goku, Piccolo, Cell, bye guys Goku, all of that. They're just here for coverage, just to make sure that I cover my basis and what we could see in the future. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you guys agree or disagree with that. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure to click the link in the description. First one is to my voice content. My second one is to all of my Dokkan Battle content videos in general. And my final link is going to be my G Fuel link for 20% off your next order. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.